trending in group travel for 2025. New and exciting opportunities for group travel are ready to unfold as the new year gets underway. And this is the perfect time to see what trends are setting the stage early in 2025. Today, we are joined by Jennifer, Nerea, Melissa, Vivian and Vered, and myself, Don, Professor Goway, and we're going to discuss the types of group travel that is trending so far in 2025 and what our group of experts, the Brady Bunch of groups, as I'm calling them, are envisaging, I always have trouble with that word, that will come to the surface and be popular in the year of 2025. So to get this started, let me start with Jennifer, and that's the only reason because I've spoken to Jennifer many times on our podcasts and webinars before. So we're buddies, and I want to make her say the word 30 because I love the way the Irish pronounce that. Jennifer, what do you think what is trending as we roll into 2025 ?
Firstly, Don, I can't get the whole Brady Bunch out of my head now, and I'm looking at the six of us on the screen. But what's trending? As I said, I was chatting to the girls earlier about this. Groups is trending, which is absolutely fantastic. It seems groups are becoming so popular. I think especially since COVID, where people are like, do you know what, we want to get away. We've got friends. A group to us, which we've said before, Don, is 10 people doing the same itinerary. So if you've 10 people, you can have a group with go away groups only. And we're seeing so many amazing destinations that are super popular. I think Instagram plays a big part of it. TikTok plays a big part. You know, people spot these destinations on Instagram and they're like, oh my God, I want to be sipping a cocktail by this fabulous beach in Bali, or if it's, sitting on a private yacht in Dubai, or I'm looking at Nerea's background there with the material, doing a naming ceremony in Ghana. There are literally so many destinations that are trending. And I know we're so lucky in the groups only team, Don, that so many of our team members have been able to discover these destinations, go and experience the destinations themselves. And they can certainly recommend unique activities to do when you're in these destinations as well. Vered still looks tired because Vered's just back from Japan, which is a really, really popular and trending destination right now. So I know she had an amazing time there.
Okay, so I'm going to let you girls bounce this next question amongst yourselves. So what makes a destination become popular for a group? Is it the destination itself, or is it the type of group who want to travel somewhere in the world? So literally, let's have it out amongst you all on what you see as why a group comes to you, I guess, for want of a better term, and why the groups. Okay, let me rephrase that as well. Are groups trending not only on destination, are they trending on travel style?
Absolutely. I'm going to pick. Yeah, Vivian.
Sorry.
You go, Vivian.
Yeah, I think a little bit of both, because I feel like there's so many different destinations that offer really awesome opportunities for visit really cool places. But it's also the style of group and how customizable our itineraries can be. Like it's one of those things where it's really endless about how far you can go for customization. So any style of group, really, we can hit that mark. I also find with groups is adding a unique twist to all the itineraries that makes it really stand out. I think that's where we hit the mark on groups. And that's why I love doing it.
It's good you enjoy your job there, Vivian.
100%.
Anyone else?
The more customizable, the more unique it is, the more excited I get.
Well, I guess because like any job, if you do the same thing every day, it becomes the job, the mundane. I guess not just groups, all of Go Away, because we are primarily FIT and customizable. And one thing we like to say is that no two itineraries are ever the same. So from your point of view, as you just mentioned, each quote, each request will be different, which in itself hopefully brings excitement not only to you, but to the agent and in turn the group traveling. Anyone else want to sort of chime in on maybe what's trending from a group travel style versus destination, or both?
I think I find a lot of trending in terms of discovery for a new destination. Tell a friend to tell a friend. So you find a group has gone this destination, they've never been there before, and they go back and they're like, "Wow, you gotta visit this place."
Right.
Some do it for spiritual reasons. A lot of what we do in Africa, especially the Western Africa, talking of Ghana, Togo, that line. They do it a lot of for discovery of their ancestry. They want to go back to where they began, the beginning and the end, and then back to the beginning. We have birthday celebrations. I want to do my 40th, 50th, 100th birthday. They all gather together. Hey, which spot have we never been to? And they go checking in boxes. So we have for cuisine, we have discoveries for the wild. There's like pretty much a lot that is out there that makes people travel. And it's quite exciting because when you think you just discover that you are actually starting to do it. So it is interesting just even putting up everything together.
Yeah, I think it's worth highlighting too. Ghana, I wouldn't necessarily term it as a trending destination, at least for Goway, because we've been doing Ghana and a lot of Ghana for many years now, and it's to the points that Nerea just brought up, in that we have a lot of African Americans, African Canadians looking to find their roots, go back and trace their ancestry back to the start of to the slaving trade, which came out primarily of Western Africa. Now, it's interesting too, in that Nerea mentioned her sort of focus on Africa. So can we just go around the little Brady Bunch box here? And can I ask you, because like all things at Goway, we work in specialization, so areas. Now, groups may not just be one region, they may be one or two regions, but just for the sake of clarity for our listening audience and viewing audience, Vivian, where do you specialize in?
Europe and North America.
Okay, Melissa?
I'm the team lead for Africa, and I also do Asia and Latin America.
Okay, Vered?
I'm a team lead for South Pacific, and I also specialized in Asia. And there's a few more places that I can
you can help out with.
Too, but
Okay.
Those are my specialties and my favorites too. So.
Okay, Nerea, you mentioned Africa. Is it just Africa?
Yes, I do Africa and the Middle East.
And the Middle East, and Jennifer.
I don't do anything. These girls are the experts when it comes to putting together the amazing itineraries. But I oversee groups. I oversee Africa, Asia, and the Americas for groups. But we're very much a team. It's very much a team effort when it comes to groups only. But as you mentioned, Don, we do have people that will specialize in certain areas, and because we want the team to really know a destination inside and out. So whenever our travel agent partners are coming to us, that they know when they're talking to Melissa, that Melissa has spent how many years traveling to Africa, Melissa?
30
odd?
30 years.
You went when you were 5.
It is the best continent in the world.
After Latin America.
On that for Europe.
John, did you like what I did there? I said 30, 33.
Yeah, I know you did. I heard you. I heard you work the 30 in there. So that's another important thing. Again, we're sort of off subject of trends here, but we'll get back to that. Just from an expertise point of view, the girls here, and we have some guys in our team as well, but our groups department in general, and even our FIT agents, they've all travelled extensively to the areas in which they sell, and if not, many of them are actually from those respective areas. Now, group travel, it's a general term. Jennifer, you let us off with it for Goway, a group starts at 10 people or more. There are some sort of exceptions to that with North America. We won't get into that detail right now. But a group can be anything from 10 up to, we have done like thousands in the past, but on average 10 to maybe 20, 30 or 40. Vered, does the destination dictate the numbers, or can pretty much any destination handle any number of group?
Yeah, I think that we can handle any number of a group. But I can say from my experience, most of my groups will be all from 10 to like 28 to 30. Some agents want to keep their groups pretty intimate, like more a bit smaller than they don't want to do the 50 bus because they want to make sure they will have the personal feel to it, to have more connection with the guides and I think it's nice to keep it this way. Of course, the more the merrier, but you will see today a lot of groups that will be around that range of numbers. I think my average is around 16 to 18.
Okay.
Usually, those groups love to keep travel together every year.
Right.
Um, and it's kind of like the same bunch, and every time they do a different destination, a different experience. Some places is more foodie, some places is more culture or nature, so it is changing every year. But this is kind of the things that I seen after COVID, especially. It's travel changed, so and I
So would
and
you
I love it.
say,
I think that's why we're so expert in customized our own itineraries, because we can just come up with very cool ideas that will be different. So, yeah.
And
right?
Don, just to add there, though, I think it's important to note, like there will be certain destinations, as Vered said, we can do groups of any sizes. From a groups only perspective, our average group size is 21. However, there's certain destinations that we would recommend that you do have smaller groups just for the whole experience. Like there may be places where if they're doing a private safari, they're going to Kruger and they're going to safari. There's certain game lodges that only accommodate a certain amount of people. So if
Yeah.
you go over a certain number, it's going to impact the overall group. Same with, I'm looking at Vivian in Europe. Like sometimes if you're going in the tiny streets, the cobbled streets of Girona in Spain, it doesn't make sense to have two massive coaches doing it. You might want to
Sure.
keep it more, because it can impact the overall experience, but that's
Hmm.
our jobs to give you
To
that.
make it work. Yeah.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
make it work and recommend what we think is best as well.
So just to tap in on something on the Vered said as she was answering my question, she mentioned smaller intimate groups. Do you think that type of group travel, smaller groups, is becoming a trend in itself, as in people want to get away from the
Absolutely.
points you just brought up of
Mm-hmm.
larger coaches not being intimate?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Smaller groups also kind of mean like it's more personal now.
yeah.
So like the guide is really with you every single step, and they offer better suggestions, and they can hear all everything that they're telling them about the tour. Like
And it's more
it's a lot
flexible,
more,
right, Vivian? It's like more
yeah, that
flexible.
too.
I
The
think it
agent can
also
pick the time they
depends.
prefer to go back to the hotel or be picked up or stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that,
Yeah.
which in a big bus tours, you're not able to do that, right? So,
Yeah, and it depends on the destination. Like for Dubai, for example, the more the merrier. You can rent out a private yacht. We can get 100 people on there with a DJ, music going, a big party atmosphere. Or you're in Bali and the streets are all windy and everything, and you can't really maneuver a big coach, for example. So it really depends on the sort of destination that you're in.
Yeah.
Of course, of course, destination will dictate group size.
Mhm.
The event, the event will dictate. If you're going away with lots of people to party, then obviously, really the more the merrier.
Mhm.
But a family trip should be exactly that, smaller and intimate. But understanding that you have to adapt, obviously, to what the client comes to you with, saying, "I want this for this reason." Just again, in general terms for trends, do you think agents outside the building of Goway, when they're looking to take on group travel, that approaching it with that sort of caveat that the best way to do group travel in general is to do the smaller group, the more intimate side of things with the private guiding? Is that a bit of advice you would give to someone who's trying to get a group through the door?
Yeah, I can jump in on that one. Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially as we said, groups in general is trending. So we have more and more agents now coming to us who may not have done a group before. And I know, Don, we've spoken about it in the past that sometimes people are intimidated by it, but that's what we
Mm-hmm.
say. Start off, again, 10 people, start off small, and you'll find then that people love that style of travel because it is intimate. It is, remember, you do have your own private guide, you have your own private driver, and it really, really makes for a seamless way of traveling. And as the girls have already said, it makes it really intimate, and you can really immerse yourself in the destination as well. So and even some of the big players that do the big motor coach tours, they're now branching into those smaller groups now because, as I said, they see those trends happening. I think since COVID, and that's not to say the big coaches aren't great. I've been on several of them myself and have enjoyed it. And there's a time and a place for them. But I think
Exactly.
nowadays people don't necessarily want to be on a coach with 40 people. having 12 people together or 16 people, it feels like you can get to know everybody versus having potentially 40
Exactly.
people. It's
Yeah.
it's different. It's just different.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's important from group travel in general because, and you girls can let me know from your experience. Well, let me ask this question before I make my statement about it. When you have a group come to you in general terms or on average, are they a group that know each other, or is it an agent sort of throwing a wide net to get people from all different walks of life onto a particular itinerary? I know you do both and you have examples of both, but what is the trend? That's our subject. Is it more a group of people who know each other already, or is it just strangers coming together?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have also a lot of specs, an agent just coming that I want people to go to Dubai and I have two, but I'm looking at 15 or 20. So, and at the end of the day, they have their 20, so they never knew each other before. So we do a lot of specs
Okay.
as well. Yeah. And they get to
Right.
know each other. So I feel groups also creates friendships.
That is
Yeah.
exactly where I was going to go, Nerea, and thank you for
Oh,
that because I've found as being a travel guide before, I'd have groups of no more than 23 was the maximum we'd have when we were overlanding, and even within 23, again, these are strangers generally coming together, they'd all get to know each other to some degree. Of course, within that, you have smaller groups that really bond, and that's just natural. But I always found, I think beyond the sort of the 18 to 20, and I think, Vered, you said you're on average 16 to the 20, you start to lose, naturally, that intimacy, as we discussed. But, yeah, you don't get to know people, and I've never understood the point from getting to other travelers. If you go on a group of 40 plus, you'll probably bond with 3 or 4 people, and the rest of them are strangers on the trip and then strangers after the trip, where getting back to our original point of smaller groups being a trending request, it's so much more rewarding. I'm talking personally here, not only seeing the country in the way you girls have described, but meeting other travelers.
Melissa, I think you've got great examples, though. I know Catherine. I know I'm talking about Catherine. They just started their group business. It was a husband and wife duo, and they just wanted to travel the world. And they were like, "Well, we invite a couple of friends," and it's just skyrocketed or snowballed from them, Melissa, hasn't it?
No, absolutely. A lot of agents will say, okay, I want to go to Vietnam. That's one of my bucket list places. So let me get some people together and we'll all go. So a lot of agents pick their bucket list destinations and then they get a group together and do it.
So talking destinations there, we're talking, as an example, Vietnam. We're recording this in February and we have a focus on groups this month, and the Goway newsletter is about to come out. And I know for a fact that we are highlighting a couple of destinations here. So I'm going to throw the destinations out there, and you girls tell me why these ones are a focal point and why they're trending. We have Dubai, Ghana, which we've discussed, so we don't need to go over that one again, South Africa, Ireland. Jennifer, you cannot say anything about Ireland because you're biased. Peru and Australia. So tell me why those ones, excluding Ghana, because, again, we've discussed that one, why they are trending at the moment.
South Africa. Melissa, you want to go? I start.
Yep.
There's so much.
So,
Yeah,
South Africa, you've got adventure. Like we talked about customizing. So we do a typical peninsula tour, but if you want to customize it, why don't you go kayaking with penguins? Why don't you, instead of going to the winelands and, just doing your coach tour, you can e-bike it. And still, do the wine stops along while you're e-biking. There's a place called Atlantis Dunes, so you can go sandboarding, quadding. There's so much adventure stuff. And then you've got your Instagram spots like the Panorama Route, the Blythe Rivers Canyon, Coles. I always get that one mixed up. So yeah, you have the Drakensberg Mountains if you're into hiking. You had all the beaches, beautiful beaches in Durban and Cape Town, and culture, right? Robben Island, Soweto, townships. You can learn to drum and dance and traditional food. There's just so much to do, and wildlife, of course.
Of course. Again, that's you sort of trail off on the wildlife. You go to Africa and you go to South Africa just to e-bike. You don't really care about the lions and elephants, of course. But yeah, of course, there is all the safari options as well. Who'd like to jump in on Dubai? Now, that has, again, like Ghana, has been I wouldn't say a trending destination for groups and FIT. It's been a popular destination, but particularly for groups. So who'd like to jump in on why Dubai remains to be popular?
Nerea, do you want to do Dubai then?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start with Dubai.
What about
You
all
start
the
from
women groups, right? So many women groups. I'm like, I want to go to Dubai and do all those
yeah.
crazy pictures to put on Instagram.
Like dresses.
And then lately, we've had a lot of birthday celebrations in Dubai. Everybody wants to do their 40th and 50th in Dubai. I don't know why, but this is why. So it goes from just melting into the culture, having meals with them at the Samaj place. It goes towards Jumeirah, part of the toll. We have the yacht, we have the desert safari. You just have your dance and we have the Miracle Garden, very refreshing. We have Abu Dhabi. You cross over. It's about 45 1-hour drive from Dubai. Some are even as interesting and go as far as Sharjah. And yeah, and the hotels in Dubai, I think they're just the bomb. They are really good. Like we've really got a lot of nothing but praises for that for Dubai.
And I think sorry, go on.
I was just going to add in there, Don. I think what motivates a lot of people to Dubai is the bling. People want to go and experience. They want to go and experience it. And as Nerea said there, it's a bit like the Vegas of Vegas of the Middle East, in the sense you're going to go there, and the standard of accommodation is amazing. From an Instagram perspective, like it's all those pictures of the flying dress. You're standing in the middle of the sand
I
dune.
group did that. This is
I think you can live. I don't know how the other half live when you're in Dubai, and it's not going to break the bank either. And I think from a lot of our business is repeat business, and Dubai is one of those places. And we literally just had a group that came back yesterday. The lady she was on the plane emailing me, and it opened up with wow, wow, wow. And already, I think it sets the tone for group travel. And the one thing I will say is it's hard to beat. Like, Dubai is one of those destinations that you just leave going, oh my God, that was incredible. And you're looked after so well. And as I said, the standard of everything is just
That's what I wanted to add, by the way, about our suppliers. The Dubai suppliers are amazing, and they're taking care of the group so amazing. They're so professional at what they do that disappointment is not. I cannot expect to be disappointed from their service.
It was interesting because when I was building the Travel Academy module for Dubai, and I was doing some research because I've not been to Dubai. To your point, Jennifer, like the bling, everything, the biggest is in Dubai, the best is in Dubai, the tallest buildings in Dubai, all this type of stuff. But on the flip side, and I don't think this shouldn't be forgotten too, there's a lot of really interesting history there as well. The old quarter as well. So don't let the bling outshine, pardon the pun, the cultural and the historical and all the desert experiences that are there. But I also think Dubai is a popular destination because it's somewhat easy to get to, and it's also a gateway to many Southeast Asia destinations. So I'm sort of putting on the FIT cap here more than anything else, but Dubai is also popular because a lot of people will do 2 or 3 days there on their way to somewhere else. But as the girls,
the Maldives, for example,
the Maldives will be a perfect example. But as the girls have said, it is a standalone destination, which again is very, very popular for groups. So, Jennifer, I will bow to the fact you are Irish. Tell us why Ireland is so popular.
Listen, I spend my time talking about Ireland. Ireland, listen, I am completely biased, you're right, Dan, but I think Ireland we're the country of a Céad Míle Fáilte, which is 1,000 million welcomes, and I truly think that's the case. When you go to Ireland, I did a presentation last night to a group, actually, that was a horse ride. They were interested in horse riding, and just when you talk about friendships, this group did not know each other. The agent is a horsey background, and she enjoys horse riding, so she put it out to the horse riding community, and we put together a really incredible itinerary, doing not just random horse rides, but we really tailor-made it to very different areas of Ireland, so they would experience horse riding in different settings. And it was funny, though, by the end of the presentation last night, there was friendships being made, and they had already set up a WhatsApp group. And this was just at the initial launch of this itinerary, and it was brilliant to see. But again, people will go to Ireland for different reasons. You'll find I'm living in Canada 10 years and every day I meet somebody and they'll say, oh, I'm Irish. It could be their second cousin's boyfriend's dog, but everybody claims some sort of Irish along the way. And I think a lot of people do. There's 6 million people in the island of Ireland, but yet 80 million people claim it as home. So a lot of people are tracing ancestry. And then, do you know what? It's a lovely country. Obviously, aesthetically wise, it's pretty breathtaking. We are welcoming. Food is great. I know we're probably not known for our food, but we've got some amazing seafood. And again, a lot of people want to go and experience the castles. P.S. I Love You, that terrible, terrible movie, in my opinion, will oh my goodness! Again, that was. There you go. That was a trending destination from about 20 years ago because people watched that movie and they thought they were going to meet their Prince Charming in Ireland until they realised the actor's actually Scottish. Can't even think of it. But I suppose there's loads of reasons why. Again, the group last night, it was all down to we've an amazing national stud. So horse riding was obviously their motive of going to Ireland. But then you'll get different reasons that that cause it to be trending. But I think Game of Thrones.
Yeah, of course.
Game of Thrones was a massive one. Vikings.
Even Harry Potter too. Yeah. Some areas in Ireland is big on Harry Potter. The Cliffs of Moher up there.
Star Wars. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of Star Wars was filmed in Donegal. So, and again, you'll get somebody like Matt Damon a couple of years ago during COVID time. He was filming a movie there, and he got stuck in Ireland for the guts of 4 or 5 months. And he's just started posting pictures by the beach, and then all of a sudden, people are like, "I didn't know Ireland had such gorgeous beaches." So I think every group is motivated a little bit differently, but we do see a lot of people who, again, family background, or you'll get people then that will want to do Ireland and Scotland, or maybe Ireland and England. But it is, listen, I'm completely biased, but it is I will say it from the moment, I always find and I don't know if any of you, I'm sure you all feel it, whenever you land in a country, sometimes customs, I find it when I get to Canada, I find the border officers really intimidating. I feel like I've done something wrong, even though I haven't, because they look at you so sternly and crossly. Honest to God, when you arrive in Ireland, and this is no word of a lie, they're like, how are you? Why are you coming to Ireland? Welcome. And I remember saying I came and it was midnight when I arrived in Dublin, and I handed in my Irish passport, and I hadn't been home in a while, and the guy said to me, welcome home, Jennifer. And then he looked at my little fella, Cian, who's Canadian, and he made a point of chatting to him then, and I just thought that honestly sets the tone for your trip to Ireland, and people will come back and they'll say they want to go back again. So it's not a one-time destination. I should work for the tourism board, shouldn't I?
I was about to say that little presentation was not dripping at all with bias. None at all.
Not at all.
Okay, so I want to just jump in. I know we haven't touched on Peru and Australia, and we will in a minute. But I keep hearing through the conversation a couple of things which feeds into our subject matter today of trending. Is one, obviously Hollywood and people of celebrity will be somewhere. And I think I just saw something about Kendrick Lamar at his halftime show in the Super Bowl was wearing a certain type of running shoe, and now they're all sold out because that's what a celebrity does. They draw attention. So obviously a celebrity being somewhere, or a show, Vikings, Star Wars, Game of Thrones, brings attention, which will see a country trend in popularity, of course. But the other one is, you've all said it at some stage, TikTok or Instagram. So do you think that, and I hate this word, I hate the profession, so to speak, the influencer out there, they are obviously working because you all say Instagram, TikTok is having an influence on people's destination choices. So is that an influencer? Is that a trendsetter? In other words, should our outside agents be using those platforms to direct their potential groups to the destination they're interested in?
Absolutely. I can tell you from my experience, I was just in Japan now for a trip, and every time I posted that on my Instagram, and all my friends are like, "You just making me want to go there." I'm like, "Yes, you have to go there." Look, like, so people get the feel through the pictures, through the, I think this is really a big factor for us for choosing destinations.
Right. So outside agents, if you are looking to send someone to a destination, utilize social media, obviously, as a marketing platform for it. But not only for yourself, if you're not on it, get on it. We actually have a webinar where we spoke to our social media lady here, Michaela. If you need some information and help on any of that or some insight into it. Sorry, hang on. I just had a phone call come in.
I'm with Goway on all my Facebook and groups and everything.
But look in the marketplace, whatever feeds you follow, if you start seeing, now I know one that is going to happen because we're actually tapping into it ourselves, is White Lotus. The next season is based in Thailand. So Thailand will start to trend based on that. And Thailand and Southeast Asia, I know, are also very popular group destinations, probably more for the fun sun party side of things. But so use social media, as in watch it to see what is trending by the influencers out there. And obviously, if you see a show coming up with a heavily based destinational background, White Lotus Thailand, things like the TV show Vikings, it mightn't be your thing, but that drew a lot of attention to Ireland because that's where a lot of it was filmed. So do you girls suggest that to your agents when they're looking to get a group together? You all said it when you travel, that you post yourselves, which brings attention to the destination as well. So is that a bit of advice you would give to an outside agent?
John, one of the things, again, just adding up to what you said before, the next one is we actually look at the age, the demography of the age group. So we'd always ask you what's the age of is it between 30 and 40, 50 and 60? So that then determines whether the destinations that we're going to be taking you are more grammable and are they tech savvy, and there are those that totally you're not going to be taking them to what they call like the old school, which looks like it's the traditional travel traditional groups. So I feel groups is also evolving in that the younger ones that we have, the Gen Zs, they would rather look at the latest restaurants, the latest everything matters, TikTok, everything matters, Instagram. So it totally changes and blows your mind at how something that many would take out there for granted is so appealing to an age demography. So
Right.
Nerea, it's very funny that you said that. And I know what group you're probably talking about, Don. We have a university group that have just confirmed with us, and they're going to Dubai and South Africa. And of course, when you're going to South Africa, I'm just back last month. We assume people want to do certain things, like they want to go and do the peninsula tour, they want to do Robben Island, and they want to do this. And it was funny. Now, bear in mind, these are 18, 19, and 20-year-old students going. And we met with the professor, and she was like, no, they want to go to the number one coffee shop that's in Cape Town. Number one coffee shop in the world is in Cape Town because they want to get that Instagram picture outside drinking the coffee. So I think Nerea hit the nail on the spot there. It's all about what's motivating this group. And I think as people, we make assumptions all the time. Yep. And that's why it's so important that we really qualify and ask the questions and say, I might be interested in doing a hike to, Machu Picchu, whereas actually I probably would prefer to have a spa at the gorgeous hotel in Lima. It just depends on what motivates people to go into those destinations. And we really delve deep into what's actually motivating you behind there so we can tailor make that itinerary. And it's important that our agent partners tell us then, well, actually they want to do more immersive activities. They want to feel it. If instead of watching a dance, they want to do the dancing or that type of thing.
Absolutely.
You're going to have maybe, I don't want to say necessarily an older clientele, but it might be an older group that they absolutely want to go to Robben Island. They want to take the drive down to the Cape of Good Hope. Whereas other people might not be interested in doing that. Different strokes for different folks, I suppose.
Yeah, well, 100%. And that's, that's the joy of travel. Like, I wouldn't go to South Africa personally for a coffee shop, but so what? Like, that's me. And this is, the group of university students. The fact that traveling is all that's really important. They're going to get there. They're going to be exposed to coffee, but also they'll be exposed to South Africa. So, to your point, Jennifer, different horses, different courses. And that's the joy of travel. But two, I think it's the joy of group travel that you don't get locked into South Africa equals wildlife, because as Melissa went through when she did her list of South Africa, the thing at the end of the list was wildlife. So she was thinking different highlights. Peru is known for Machu Picchu. Ecuador is known for the Galapagos. And I know from experience that they are stunning. But there is so much more to those countries than those two big famous sites. And it's not just other sites, it's things to do, like hat making, helping build a school. There's all that. And, we could go down a rabbit hole of all the different types of groups you can look at. And that rabbit hole is actually, here's a cross-promotion. Goway Pro Travel Academy has about 11 modules on groups, how to find them, how to market them, all the different types. So if anyone's interested in that rabbit hole, please check that out on the Academy. Now, for the sake of time, we all have our regular jobs to do as well. I'm going to go around the Brady Bunch circle here and just ask each of you for any sort of advice, highlights, trends, things you think the outside world, outside agents should know. So let's go from, I'm looking at my screen. We'll start with Vivian.
Sure. Just going back to the whole uniqueness is that you just don't want to only visit the classics. Like, you need to have a unique twist. So for example, I just did a group to Portugal and they're doing a tile making workshop with them. So that's really immersive. I have a bunch of groups going to Italy and they're visiting a lemon garden in Sorrento with a tasting, which is so cool. So it's things like that. You can stick with the classics, your typical tours, typical attractions, but branch out a little. Go visit a really neat, castle in Ireland. Go see a really nice distillery. Like, there's a lot of really cool things that you can add on to make it that much better.
Wonderful. Melissa?
No, absolutely. I agree with Vivian. Like, there's so much you can do, just the regular traditional itineraries, but add a twist, like a traditional cooking class or visiting a local village or bringing school supplies. We do a lot of that, bringing school supply donations or visiting orphanages. Speaking of the Instagram photos, it came to mind, I had a Guatemala group, and on Instagram, they saw this guy who made pizza on top of a volcano. So they hopped on their horses and went up the volcano, and this guy made them pizza. So, there's just, the sky's the limit as to what we can do. Like, if you dream it, we can probably fulfill your dream.
Yeah, I think that's a good line that I've often used. If you can think of it, generally, not always, we can make it happen for you. Vered, anything you'd like to pass on to our listening audience?
Continue saying is that some people think, oh, I want to do it, but it sounds like it's not realistic. But I'm like, yeah, we can definitely put this together. We, sometimes I say the sky's the limit, of course, with what we can do. We can put together things. It's all private for your group. So it's more, it's more personal. And for example, Australia, I had an amazing group. It was a small group of 10 people, went New Year's Eve to do the fireworks in Sydney on a beautiful cruise. She thought when she inquired a year before that it won't be affordable, it's not possible. I put them amazing group together with more tours. I think they went for 10 days. They did more tours around Sydney, amazing meals, amazing experience for foodie and wine. And they absolutely loved the cruise. And the same agent said she wanted to do the same thing for next year. So it is very unique experience to do on New Year's Eve. And so that's the idea. Do something unique for your people, even if it's just 10 people, 15 people, we can do that. Just ask us and we can give you the ideas, because that's why we're here for, right?
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Our specialty.
Yep. Nerea, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, make the group memorable. By the time you're coming back, those are memories you've created, and that will last with you forever. And having that open-mindedness in just discovering something that you've never done before. Travel is so interesting. I cannot even get to. I don't even have the words to explain how interesting travel is, because you can travel. You go there physically, you can travel on a plate, you can travel, the experiences that you get while you're going through each and every of the
It's
unique.
changing you, right, Nerea? You come back a different person. That's how I see it.
Exactly. And by the time you're back, you want to do something different again. So when an agent comes to us, we blow their mind. We literally spoil them for choices. They're like, give me time. Let me go think about this and then this. And then we bring it and make it as a new baby back to you. Okay, now this is what now you can sell to your group. It is fun. So come on, let's have fun together.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I've worked in travel all my life, been a guide, etc. Got 3 boys. I just mentioned before we came on air that the family's heading off to Africa, South Africa, in about 2 months. And my middle son, at the tender age of 24, will have hit all 7 continents by the age of 24. Now we're very proud of that. Not so much that he's hit 7 continents, but he's travelled so much because my wife's and I view is that travel, exposure to other cultures, other people, other ways of doing things, other ways of thinking is as valuable, not more valuable as a formal education. So if you're lucky enough to have both, I'm hoping that you become a very well formed and informed person. So any type of travel, FIT groups is the way to go. It's going to show you literally and emotionally a brand new world. Jennifer, as you have no destination
I don't,
that
but
you're
I'm getting quite
responsible
emotional.
for, you have the overarching responsibilities. Let's finish off our little conversation
Let's finish off
today.
with something deep. I just feel as
yeah,
I
deep.
get quite emotional listening to everyone's responses there, because I think we're all in the industry, in the travel industry, and to our travel agent partners out there as well, is because it's an industry we absolutely love. And I think you're right. The only thing you spend money on that you get richer is travel. Like the experience. So my advice to people is pick up the phone. If you have an idea, I'll throw it out there. We have internally, there's a group of us now that are planning to climb Mount Kilimanjaro next September. That's
wait.
something that I had never dreamed of. And somebody said, we should do this. And you know what? We're like, let's do it. All these, it's just incredible. So I would say if you have any sort of idea, you're thinking, God, I'd love to put a wellness group to India, but it's out of my scope. I don't know where to look. Call us. This is what we do. And imagine, Nerea, I'm saying imagine because I know Kenyan people.
Imagine.
We get paid.
Imagine do it.
We get paid to put together these amazing itineraries and amazing groups, and I think we do it because we absolutely love it. So just come with an idea. You might be a yoga instructor who wants to go and do yoga in the beach in Costa Rica, or whatever your idea is, your motive. We would love to have the opportunity to make it happen and make it a reality.
Right. A last little bit of cross promotion here too is we have coming up around, I think in June, we're doing a podcast with our on-ground operator in Tanzania who runs not only the Kili climbs or treks, if anyone's interested in doing that, again, individually or as a group, but they also run a marathon around Mount Kilimanjaro.
I did it,
They run
Don.
a marathon.
Oh,
you did it?
My boys and I did it. I'm like,
wow.
Oh, well then, Melissa, I think we might loop you in on the podcast then. Okay, so there you go, everyone. You've got no, not at all. That's really cool to know. So, from a group point of view, runners love to run naturally, and they love taking on new challenges. So imagine sending out an offer or a proposal to a running group to do the marathon around Mount Kili or Victoria Falls, and they even run a marathon in Antarctica as well. So lots of opportunities out there. Now, I'd just like to wrap up with saying I think everyone listening in today or watching today can see the passion that our team have for their respective destinations, for the fact they do groups. And as we discussed earlier on in the conversation, with our FIT and our groups, almost every trip is different. So it's exciting for them. And I'm really proud to hear the enthusiasm, literally washing off all the girls here today, and how much they love doing what they do. And, when a new idea or a new twist comes up to an itinerary, that they still get excited about it. And I'm really impressed that you're all going to gather together to take on Kili, because that's a pretty good challenge to take on. So all that is to say, we have probably the strongest, probably if not the largest groups department in North America. They're based East Coast, West Coast, all over the world for that matter. Because I think actually on that, Vivian, where are you located?
I'm in Toronto.
Toronto. Melissa?
I'm in Okanagan in BC.
Okay. Vered?
I'm in Airdrie, just outside of Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah, Calgary. Nerea, where are you?
I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Oh, you're with Jennifer in the
Mhm.
freezing cold right now. Yeah, and I'm in
And warm at
Toronto, but
heart.
yeah, but we have lots of people in office and at home in Toronto, East Coast, West Coast, as I say, and I think we've got people in Oz and everywhere else. So we can help you on any timeline, any time zone, any destination, as you can hear, any idea you've got. To quote Vered, if you can think of it, we can, again, generally 99% of the time, make it happen for you. From 10 people up to, if you have a group of 10,000, we'd love to hear from you for that. But we can handle groups of all sizes, and we have done that in the past where we've done the police and firemen's game in Australia. Jennifer, any other like big groups that we've done that you can throw out there to sort of throw another
Like the
feather in our cap?
Lions Club, we've done some big ones, but I think the police and firemen, that type of thing would be big. As I said, our average group size is about 21, but that's not to say we can't do massive ones as well. But we will often do big events that happen. They might happen every couple of years. Pride, for example, different Pride in Australia, we handled that. So,
Conferences.
like I said, yeah, incentive. Like there's so much.
Okay, actually, just sorry to interrupt, Jen, just on that point, we've been talking all the exotic type groups, but you girls and our groups department as a large group, you can also handle like the stock standard conferences and that type of thing as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
There you
and
go.
also we didn't mention the air. We can also quote airfare
Yes,
with
thank you, Vered. Yep.
group contracts and also travel insurance. So we can actually have the whole package booked for, just stress free. So
Yeah, actually, I think that's a very important part, which I didn't touch on. Thank you, Vered, for bringing that up. Is Goway is also an air consolidator. We can do insurance. So as we just said there, you come to us for your group. We can do it like lock, stock, and barrel if you want. We can just do land portions of it. We can do portions of a trip. So if a group of people are doing something like a conference and that's done through their corporate entity, they then want to do some touring after or before or in between.
and cruises as well.
Cruises, there you go. That's another one,
Pre and
post, and shore excursions. So really anything with 10 or more people, no matter what the structure set up, desire, interest, Goway groups can do it for you. And I'd like to thank all the girls today, Vivian, Melissa, Vered, Nerea, and of course Jennifer for joining us. There are many more of our groups of people out there to help you. So please get in touch with us via all the usual channels. Jennifer, what's the main group's email if someone brand new is coming to us?
Groups@goway.com. We keep it
There
easy.
you go, simple as that. Groups@goway.com, or you can reach out to your respective agent directly if you know them already. We'll put you in touch with the right person. And here's to new groups in 2025. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That was it.